Welcome back to Farnborough Airshow. This is day 2 for me. Now, just a warning before we start, today's episode may contain helicopters. If you're coming down to the airshow this weekend, this is one of the first areas you'll see actually. Leonardo, they're an Italian aerospace company. They've got a load of choppers down here, some fighter jets, a lot of technology they use in the aircraft. Well worth a look around. And look, I was joking, I was joking when I pulled that face and said helicopters. I haven't even flown a helicopter, so who am I to judge? US Air Force are actually quite well represented down here at the Farnborough Airshow this year. They've got the C-130 here, the A220 that we just saw, and the F-15 that's just around the corner. Of course, the F-16 Viper that did the demo in yesterday's airshow. The guys from Diamond have got a display down here as well at Farnborough. It's not so much aimed at general aviation though, so they've got a couple of DA-42s, they're twin engine aircraft, and the one at the back is a Dart 550. As you guys know, I fly at Cirrus SR-22 back home in Australia, but whenever I post stuff about Cirrus, I quite often get pilots who fly Diamond aircraft just saying to me, well, maybe you should give one of these a go one day. They're often compared in terms of their build quality, the endurance, the avionics, the technology inside there as well, but never actually flown one myself. Love to give it a go one day. Where's everybody? This place is super quiet today. This is the Airbus complex, so that's Qatar's A380 just behind me, but let me swing you around, sorry if I make you dizzy. That area yesterday was slammed, and I bet at the weekend when the public come down that's going to be really busy too. It's kind of the main thoroughfare between the entrances and the flight line. Hardly anyone there today. We swing you to the other side, then across the Airbus complex there's an A380 that came in earlier today. And then you can see this pathway here, again one of the main pathways that goes to the other side where all the cargo planes are. There's no one here. Let's go meet an old friend.
You've got to crack your lens again.
I do.
You've got a whole episode about you finding your.
Well, you can kick it over this time. I'm sure most people watching this will know John. Just in case you don't, I'll link to his channel down below. John is the flying reporter on YouTube. We've flown together on a couple of occasions out of Biggin Hill. And John's also just done like an epic trip to Croatia and around Europe. With a couple of, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but just maybe like check out John's channel and have a look at his mini-series down to Europe. How was that flight, John?
Oh, it was amazing. It was such a challenge, such a thrill, but some challenging weather along the way, which really tested my airmanship and decision making in ways that I never thought I would have to do ever.
Yeah.
Mountain flying and low cloud and thunderstorms.
Anything you're particularly looking forward to seeing up in the skies today?
Well, I saw your film yesterday and saw a really slow moving heavy aircraft which was going almost slower than I go when I'm flying, and I just thought, wow, that's amazing.
That was the A380 I think they were saying 112 knots.
That's crazy.
And it was just 600 feet above us, just hovering in the air above us. So yeah, that's well worth looking at.
Yeah, I've never really come to many air shows. I did for work years ago, went to a couple and never really watched the displays or anything. So I'm hoping you're gonna show me where's the best place to stand.
Oh, I've got a couple of good spots, like as far away from the crowds as possible. This is the A380 operated by HiFly. They're based out of Portugal. I just landed into Farnborough this morning, and the livery on the outside is actually quite a unique one. It's the Mirpuri Foundation. That's named after the chief executive of HiFly, Paolo Mirpuri, who's actually really into his sustainability and wanting to make sure that we can do everything we can to protect the coral reefs in particular around the world. Hence the livery that we've got on here. I think it looks really good, very colourful.
How do you make out you know what you're talking about?
I'm 50% I know what I'm talking about, 50% Wikipedia. No, I can't say that. I've always enjoyed aviation and just being around planes, and I think you just get talking to people in the industry, don't you? And you kind of learn more and more about them. But hanging out at air shows, I think that's mainly it. Misspent youth. I think if it's possible to have a favourite winglet on any aircraft, the A350 it's got to be up there for me. I mean, just look at the lines, look at the curve on that. It's like a skateboard ramp on the end of the wing.
Now watch his plane. Smoke. If this was a race, he'd already pick up 1 second against his time.
These shoes were white when I turned up this morning. Hasn't rained in the UK for weeks, months even. Sorry, police. Just under the wing of the A380 here at the moment, just underneath the one we were looking at before, because they've just very briefly opened up the A220, the new Airbus aircraft. It's not actually a new aircraft, but it's a new aircraft for Airbus. I'll explain in a second, but we're going to jump on board it now. So yeah, this is the new Airbus A220, and like I said, not a new aircraft. Airbus in June acquired this aircraft from Bombardier and now have rebranded it to the Airbus A220-300 series. So the configuration on board here in economy, it's economy all the way through the plane, is 2 seats on the left, then the aisle, and 3 seats down the right hand side. The middle seat in this 3, I've been told, is actually slightly wider than the 2 seats either side. Kind of what you expect from a Airbus cockpit, very modern, primary flight display and multifunction displays next to each other, the glass cockpits. Got the standard Airbus side stick, just like the Cirrus as well. I should say for a relatively small regional jet, it's actually quite a spacious cockpit in here. The new Airbus A220. Now apparently JetBlue in the US have already got quite a few of these on order, and if you fly Swissair as well, apparently the A220 is flying with Swissair in and out of Heathrow, but otherwise probably expect to see this popping up in your local airports sometime soon. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. No problem.
Well, sadly another day comes to an end here at Farnborough Airshow, end of day 2 for me. Thank you again for watching. I've had some great responses to yesterday's video. If you haven't seen this, you kind of watch them out of order, but it doesn't really matter. Go check out yesterday's. Thank you to everyone who's commented on it. If you enjoyed this video as well, give us a like. It means a lot to me to know that you're enjoying this content. If you haven't subscribed and you watch these videos, please do subscribe. The bigger this channel grows, like I said yesterday, the more things like this we can do on this channel and the more people I can approach about getting that kind of behind the scenes access to aircraft like that. But just before I go, I've lost John.
In over the balloon sheds here at Farnborough, coming in over the black sheds.
So I finally found him. I found John. He was watching the A350 demo. We have to head off now. John, it's nice to see you again.
It's been brilliant, man. I love how you always call me up whenever you come to the UK. I'm your go-to UK friend. I'm your UK friend.
You're my UK friend and my real friend outside of the UK as well. It's not like I get back to Australia and I don't like you anymore. But yeah, we're going to head off. I'll be back at the Farnborough Airshow again on Saturday, hopefully capturing the red arrows. And I think things will be a lot busier here on the public days. If you're coming down and you watch this video, leave me a comment if you want to meet up and say hi. I'll be wandering around here with a camera. Otherwise, we're going to head home. Should we go?
Let's go.
Let's do it. Bye, Farnborough.